All right, all right, all right. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. What is it? Wednesday the 13th. Quick recap. We have really been a kind of an upper body series lately per se. I know last Friday your homework assignment, which has been recorded, I'll save it for next Friday. You had core, you had a little legs, a little abs. And last Wednesday was more legs focused. But really the last several weeks has been very upper body focused. We're going to do our 2 movement exercises today when we get to our upper body stuff. So we'll have the fly press, the pullover press, the curl press, and of course those will have other things in them, blah, blah, blah. But we need to get warm and loose. Of course we do have some legs and abs and those things, but we are on this upper body phase per se. All right, let's get warm and loose. 10 total alternating, stationary, reverse lunges. The front leg is loaded, L-O-A-D. Remember, there's a physical weight component, and then there's a time under tension. And then that word you've been hearing the last couple months, exaggerate the motion. That front leg pulls you back up. 10 total alternating, stationary, reverse lunges. You're then going to do your 10 standing scissors. We're going to, remember I always change the warm-ups just the tiniest bit. We have 3 rounds of just these 2 exercises, whereas, quote unquote, normally I would change the legs. 10 standing scissors. When you get done, shake it off. We're not in too big of a hurry. You'll have your 10 total alternating, stationary, reverse lunges again. So we're going to repeat that. It's a safe leg exercise. You've got hips and knees and ankles, those joints are moving. You've got your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, your calves, they're working, and it's a safe exercise. 10 stationary reverse lunges, and you have your 10 standing scissors for the second time. Again, don't go too fast. Let's get this thing done. Rob, you've got your 15 presses. Breathe. Take your time, slow, steady, consistent, effective. After those standing scissors, one more time, 10 total alternating, stationary, reverse lunges. Your toes are always able to wiggle. That doesn't mean your toes are up. Like I don't want you on your heels. Your toes are able to wiggle. Your feet are relaxed. The load is in your hips moving, quads, glutes, hamstrings. They are working. You'll then have your 10 standing scissors for the third and final time in this first part, right? Lengthen those hamstrings. Lengthen those glutes and lower back. Move your legs and arms via your hips and your shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to go to our 10 wide squats. We're going to do this 3 times to go with our runners. Again, just the smallest change to your warm-up routine. You guys know me well. Predictable sometimes can be the right word. When you start doing a certain series, you'll know what's coming. Wide squats is your flexibility squat. Feet are simply wider than your regular squat, which we haven't done yet. It's a flexibility squat. 10 standing runners for the first time of your 3 times. Elbows to knees, not knees to nose. And I do get the question every once in a while, why don't we just do 30 of one thing and 30 of the other thing? When you break it into smaller components or smaller pieces, you tend to make sure the motion stays and or it gets bigger. So doing the whole 10 wide squat, 10 standing runner times 3, motion is maintained or increased. Mindset, right? You're not going to fall asleep during your 30 reps. It really has nothing to do with overall load and injury potential, just mixing it up a little bit. 10 wide squats, 10 standing runners for the second time. Mobility on your standing runners. Elbows to knees, not knees to nose. Spine rotation, hip, knee, ankle mobility. Clearly you have some muscles working and moving as well. One more round. I'm going to try to be just a little bit ahead of you. 10 wide squats. Those hips right? Ooh, those hips, those glutes. So hips are moving, glutes are turning on. That wide stance, you're gonna feel your hip muscles lengthen more. And breathe and focus on those 10 wide squats. Hips, glutes, eyes, posture, and thighs. It's a leg exercise, not a back exercise. 10 standing runners for the third and last time. Clearly, we're getting nice and warm and loose, breathing and focusing on those 10 standing runners. When you get there, we're going to do our 10 jumping jacks and our 10 Jack LaLannes times 3. You know me and my themes and my rhythm. Yeah, you got the double jacks, right? 10 big either jumping jacks or walking jacks. And then you shake it, and then you're just gonna go right into the dynamic stretching exercise. No, they have nothing to do with each other, right? They didn't name jumping jacks after Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne is your dynamic stretching exercise. And the feet width, it's not that it matters, but it does change how you stretch your hamstring. So if you have a wider base, it's going to go up the hamstring. And if you have a narrower base, it goes down the hamstring. 10 jumping jacks and 10 Jack LaLannes times 3. Both are big, huge motions. Yeah, shake it off. Play at the feet. If you haven't done it yet, narrower, it goes down the hamstring as you stretch. However, your lower back can inhibit that. So play around the feet width. If you want to higher up the hamstrings or lower down the hamstrings, it's all about your feet width. 10 Jack LaLannes is your dynamic stretching exercise. When you get down, you got one more round. 10 jumping jacks. Big. It's a rhythm exercise. We've done jumping jacks since we were, 3? Such an old school exercise. Jack LaLannes, right? You guys have been doing this since March 30th. This big, huge position. And you do think stretching. Breathe and focus on those 10 Jack LaLannes. Nice, big stretch on your Jack LaLannes. And there you are, right? You have the 180 movements, but when you do the 3, the non-changing things, maybe a little bit of pace in there. Alrighty, we have our fly press coming our way. Lay on anything. Lay on the ground, lay on a ball, lay on a bench. Remember, I don't show a lot of tools because I know everybody has those tools. The benefits of laying on a ball, you would potentially engage more core, right? Maybe some stability. Laying on a bench, you could adjust stability versus foundation. But again, both of those you might get more motion. And laying on the ground is great. You're supported, and it's a training tool for the width of exercise. Anyhow, fly to press. We have done this before. Kind of tedious today. We have 5 sets of 20 total movements or 5 sets of 10 revolutions. Again, kind of tedious. You know me, we're gonna do our upper body motion abs this circuit. Okay, so today can be labeled a lot more up body, a lot more abs. We do have other things to do. All right, lay on something. Chest fly, shoulder blades cause the width of the exercise. Pulling exercise, and then whether you change your hands or not, you've got your press. I do highly recommend mixing up your hands on your press. Maybe do a couple neutral, maybe do a couple, notice I didn't say narrow, maybe do a couple neutral, maybe do a couple angled, maybe do a couple closed. You could change your hand on the press. You could even do the narrow press, which is a little more tricep-y, but I kind of like to save the narrow for when we do the pull-over press later on. We have 5 sets of 20 total movements, which is 10 revolutions, 10 of each. So, simple, right? Your upper body motion abs means your lower body is not moving. We're gonna do a pyramid, 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. I can use the word simple. There really isn't much change. You've got 5 rounds. Round 1 and round 5 are short. After your 10 upper body motion abs, you're going to be right back on your fly press. The intent is to get that chest muscle working, right? Upper body motion abs, you've got sit-ups at any angle or body position or leg position. Remember, sit-ups get a bad rap for how repetitive it can feel. Please change your body. There's probably 100 different body, leg positions, right? Maybe not 100, there's a lot. Round 1 was your 20 total movements or 10 revolutions with your 10 upper body abs. Round 2, same thing. Just because the number isn't changing doesn't mean your load can't change. You can either increase the physical weight, you can increase time under tension, you could change the tool that you're laying on, because your upper body motion abs, you could be on the ground, ball, or bench too. So there are subtle changes you can make on the fly press. Again, you've got ground position, ball position, bench position. You can have your legs in the air. You can have one leg in the air. You can be on a stability ball. So I look forward to you adjusting your fly press as you can. Round 2, fly press, and then your 20 upper body motion abs. And a very basic mindset. Your lower body does not move. You can have one leg up on your toe touch. You can have both legs up on your toe touch. You can have your legs on a ball and do a sit-up. Remember, I haven't shown that one because not everybody has a ball. Your legs can be on a bench. You can mix anything up with your body and your legs as long as your lower body does not move during your upper body motion ab. And of course, depending on where you're at, will depend on the flexibility of your posterior muscles and the mobility of your hips and spine. Blah, 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 blah. Round 3, now I hope I'm a little bit ahead of you, okay? And if you get a little ahead of me, cool, just make sure those motions are big and slow. You're getting ahead of me because of your lack of rest. Round 3, again, you have your fly press, 20 total movements, 10 revolutions. Remember, I hope I'm a little bit ahead of you. Flies are slow and wide. Shoulder blades cause the width of the exercise. Minimal hands, minimal arms. There's a lot more thought that goes into your fly. The press is smooth. The press is simple. The press is going to feel easier because the weight you have is for your fly. You can change your hands. You can have neutral. You can have arrow if you want to. Changing your hand angles, and you can close it all the way down if you want to. Pretty basic, right? Round 3, 20 total fly press, 10 revolutions, and then 30 upper body motion abs. Your lower body is not moving. At the gym, really the only other thing you could do is jackknives. You can do it with a cable or band up on something. That is a possibility, but you need to have something that can stretch or a cable that can move. Jackknives. You got decline board sit-ups, elevated sit-ups, stability ball sit-ups, ground, legs moving all over the place, toe touches, one leg up, both legs up. You can have that knee bent. You can have your legs up on something. I'm just mixing them up so you can see them all. Round 3 is 30 upper body motion abs. We've done pyramids before. And since all of you know me really, really well, circuit 2, when we get to it, will be the other laying down 2 movement exercise, and we'll do our hip motion abs. So again, pretty predictable on those 2 circuits. The 3rd circuit will change a little bit with the movements and the combos. And good morning, by the way. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully you have power. Hopefully your streets aren't too crazy. Fair warning, bridle trails is a mess. The Willows Road is out of power. All those things. All right, here we go. Round 4. If you are there, awesome. If you're not there, awesome. Your workout. Remember, when the circuit ends, I got to talk about the next circuit anyways. Round 4, you got your fly press again. If you haven't changed anything, okay, that's fine. But if you can, time, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, time under tension can change the load factor. Maybe you can go heavier on the weights. Maybe you change what you're laying on. You got your legs in the air, could incorporate a little stability on the exercise, whether you're on the ground or a bench, okay? Mix it up a little bit. That's why I'm going to give you the 5 sets of 20 total movements, which is pretty rare, right? Normally it's a progression of some sort. Round 4, fly press for the 4th time, and then you're going to go back down that pyramid. 20 upper body motion abs. The intent is you're making subtle changes on both exercises. Round 4, 20 total fly press, 10 revolutions, and they're going to have the 20 going back down that pyramid. I always want to be a little bit ahead of you so you know what to do. Remember, if you ever get ahead, either slow your movements down, load your movements up, stretch for a second. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, just a smidge fast. I'm going to start that last round here in a second. Remember, I got to talk about the next circuit anyways, so we're getting close to that little middle circuit we're going to do. Round 5 is your last fly press today. You'll be doing a pull over press later and a curl to press later. So there are 3 circuits on the upper body. The 3rd circuit will have a different rhythm, so be ready for that. Focus. 20 total movements. 10 revolutions. Change what you're laying on. Change the body position. Make those adjustments so you don't fall asleep on a rarely changing circuit. Round 5. 20 fly press. 10 on your upper body motion abs. We have more abs to do later on. Coming soon. Work, breathe, focus. Work, breathe, focus. I like it. When you get there, we're just going to turn that dial up a tiny bit. We're going to have a right leg always moving thing. It's not always working. We're going to do our stationary forward, stationary reverse lunges. Right leg is always moving in combination with just a little bit of work, right? So we're just going to work a little bit the circuit, just a small thing to stimulate the soul. If you hold weight, that would be awesome. Whether you hold 1 weight, 2 weight, mix up the weights as you wish. Your right leg is always moving, okay? Stationary forward, stationary back. Right leg steps in front of you. Don't go yet, right? Push yourself back, and then right leg goes behind you, but your left leg pulls you up. Again, I'm going to keep the numbers simple on the brain today. It's always going to be 10 total movements. That would be 5 of each. Well, that's cool, but I want to make sure the body is warm and loose, so we're going to go through the mobility and agility, and of course we're going to repeat it later on. Are you ready? 5 revolutions or 10 total movements. You could do mix up your hands. Right leg steps in front of you. Right leg pushes you back. Right leg steps behind you. Left leg pulls you up. Mix up the weight on your 10 total steps, 5 revolutions. That's 5 in front, 5 in back. And again, I want to make sure you are warm and ready. You're going to have your 10 standing scissors. I know we did some earlier, 10 total standing scissors. And that way you're going to elongate your posterior muscles. We're just going to make sure everything is working properly on your 10 total standing scissors. Breathe and focus. Round 1, you have the right leg always moving, 10 total steps, 5 revolutions. You then have the 10 standing scissors. You'll do them again later. Round 2, you've got your 10 total steps. You've got your 5 revolutions. Mix up your hands, whether you're holding 1 weight, 2 weights, or have a good day. No weight, right? Take your time. Always 10 total movements, 5 each direction. Round 2 will be your standing runners. Runners is elbows to knees, not knees to nose. And we did these in our warm-up earlier. 10 standing runners is round 2. Take your time. Breathe and focus on those standing runners. No rush. Round 3. Remember, I want to be a little bit ahead of you. I want to push that pace the tiniest bit. You've got your always 10 total steps, 5 of each. Stationary forward, stationary backwards. Right leg is always moving. Right leg is not always working. 10 total steps, 5 revolutions. Breathe and focus. So round 1, standing scissors, standing runners. Round 2, you got your jack-o'-lanes. Gonna be round 3. We're gonna do high knees. 10 running revolutions or 10 walking reps on your high knees. No rush. Round 3, 10 high knees, running revolutions or walking reps. So we have these standing scissor, mobility, dynamic stretching, right lengthening. You have your standing runners, the rotation activation. You have your high knees. Round 4, 10 total stationary lunges, forward and backwards. You'll then have your butt kicks, 10 running revolutions or walking reps. Breathe and focus on the 10 total steps. And then, of course, you're going to have your butt kicks, running revolutions, walking reps. Work, right? The walking reps on high knees and butt kicks does require more exertion and thought, actually. Is it the best agility exercise? Well, if it's good for you, then yes. Running is momentum. Running may have a little more impact. Running requires a little more thought. That's why it's revolutions. Round 4, 10 total stationary forward, stationary backwards lunges. And then you're on your 10 butt kicks. Last round, you've got your 10 total stationary forward, stationary backwards lunges. Mix up the weights. A couple in the right hand, a couple in the left hand. Mix them up. Maybe you have 2 weights. Little technical difficulties over here. And the last one is your jumping jack. So after your 5th set of your stationary forward, stationary reverse lunges, you're on your 10 jumping jacks. Again, we did those earlier in your warm-up. just a nice little movement, agility. We had a right leg thing. We will be doing the left leg thing later. We need to do the second upper body circuit, okay? Alrighty, pull over press. If you can lay on something, sorry, if you're gonna lay on something, you can lay on the ground, ball, or bench, just like you did your fly press. Same rhythm, same stuff, same idea. Pull over press, lat, pull over press. That'll be your 5 sets of 20 total movements, 10 revolutions, okay? Same idea. You're gonna have your lower body motion abs, which is anything where your legs are moving per se. Now, I really am looking for reverse crunches and V-ups and hanging abs. Remember, you can always do slow scissors, slow runners. I don't mind some windshield wipers, but try to keep it to more of an ab-focused exercise. When you're ready, round 1, 20 pull over press. And remember the benefits of laying on something besides the ground. Again, the ground is awesome. The ground is a great training tool for the length of the exercise. But if you're laying on the bench or ball, you might get that more motion, right? So you need to be mindful. And it can be awesome to have the more motion. And of course, it can be detrimental to have the more motion. So there's unfortunately goods and bads when you lay on something elevated. Elbow slightly bent. It doesn't bend and straighten. That's a tricep exercise. But you have that long lengthening, reaching, pulling, and then of course you have the smooth push. It might feel easier based on the tools you have. Medicine ball, dumbbells, plate, kettlebell. 10 hip motion abs, round 1. V-ups are great. They are not the ultimate best ab exercise, but they're a nice, good, challenging exercise. Reverse crunches are great. Both legs would be moving, abs would be working. Breathe and focus on your hip motion abs. At the gym, or if you want to hang from something, hanging abs are great. Hard on the body, good on the hips and abs. Slow scissors and slow runners. Round 1 was your 20 pull over press with your 10 hip motion abs. Round 2, again, always 20 pull over press. Maybe you change the tools you're holding. Maybe you increase the time under tension. Maybe you increase the physical weight. Maybe you change what you're laying on. There are lots of little subtle changes you can make as you do your pull over press, especially when it's 5 sets of 20 total movements or 10 revolutions. Breathe and focus on those pull over presses. And of course your hip motion abs, okay? Hip motion abs, reverse crunches, V-ups, slow scissors, slow runners, 20 hip motion abs on round 2. So circuit 1 and 2 are very similar. Different exercises, same numbers, same rhythm. And that third and final circuit will just be a little bit different rhythm. Round 2, 20 total movements on your pull over press or 10 revolutions. And they're gonna have the hip motion abs. Your legs are essentially moving, but your abs are moving your legs. But they can also be moving your body too, not just your legs are moving, right? Your abs are contracting. Round 3, I want to try to be a little ahead of you, right? So if you're a little ahead of me, make sure those motions are loaded, right? Time under tension, physical weight. Play around with your body position. You can have your legs in the air on the ground or bench, or a leg in the air, right? You can work on different positions. You could lay on something different. Again, those are just subtle ways to enhance your circuit, right? Round 3, 20 total fly press, 10 revolutions, and then you're gonna be on your 30 hip motion abs. Remember, I don't mind slow scissors or slow runners. You could always mix in a swimmer if you wanted to, slow or windshield wiper, reverse crunches, V-ups, hanging abs, all preferred. There's always more movements on your pulling ab exercise when your legs move, right, your hip motion abs. There's more pulling exercises on your upper body exercises. There are more positions on your pushing upper body and your upper body motion abs, so you kind of lump those together on positions. Round 3, you have your 10 revolutions or 20 total movements on your pull-over press, and you have your 30 hip motion abs where your legs are moving because of your abs. Take your time. There is no rush. And again, we did some legs. We'll do the other side later on. We're doing some other things, but between Monday and today, last Monday, we're doing a lot of upper body. Round 3 was your 20 total movements, 10 revolutions, right, for the third time, 30 upper body motion abs. Sorry, wow, my brain is off today. 30 hip motion abs. My Zoom is down. My Teams is down. I'm wondering if the videos are even working right now. Oh, it's a Wednesday. Round 4, pull over press, 20 total movements, 10 revolutions. You are focused on lengthening those lats. That's the biggest thing I look for. A lot of people get here and then they start to bend their elbow. Well, there's your overhead tricep, right? So lengthen those lats. Elbows stay slightly bent on a lat pullover. Now, it is also a loaded exercise. So you will see people using really heavy weights laying on the side of the bench. But if you watch their elbows don't bend and straighten. It's a loaded lat pullover, whereas we focus probably on more of the elongation of it. Round 4, 20 total movements, 10 revolutions on your pull over press, and then you're gonna go back down that pyramid. 20 total hip motion abs. Breathe and focus. Take your time. Legs are moving because of your abs. There is no rush. Wednesday morning. I like it. Working. Round 4. Remember, the little changes go the longest ways. Change what you're laying on. Change your body and or leg position. You can change your load, time and or weight. And I'm more talking about the pullover presses. Your hip motion abs, right? There's more different movements versus body positions. Round 5, you've got your pull over press for the last time today. Remember, the third circuit will have a little different number scheme, a little different rhythm. You'll have the last round of your hip motion abs. So you could say your abs are going to be done for the day. Work. Pull over press, elongation of lats, clearly the contraction of lats, and then you have that nice smooth push like you did earlier. But naturally, based on the tool you have, it's naturally a little narrower than the fly press. So that's why the fly press, you change your hands more. 10 revolutions on pull over press, and then 10 abs, hip motion abs. Breathe and work on the hip motion abs. Your legs are moving because of your abs. Take your time. You're working, you're breathing. We're not done yet. Make sure your space is ready when you get done for that left leg moving circuit. I always want to be a little bit ahead of you, so we can always say we have moderate high pace. There's not many workouts where I don't have you rest, right? So you can honestly say most workouts have high pace. It's just they have such a low tempo. It feels slow, but I always want to be a little bit ahead of you. When you do get done that last round of your pullover press and those last 10 abs, remember I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of you. Make sure your space is ready. Always 10 total stationary forward, stationary reverse lunges. Your left leg is always moving. Your left leg steps, loads, pushes you back on the forward, and the left leg goes behind you, and the right leg is loaded, and the right leg pulls you back up. Mix up the weight like you did earlier. I didn't go through any formal weight progressions because I'm changing the combination. Right? I'm changing what we're going to combo with. So round 1, 10 total lunges, and then we need to just make sure everything's working properly. 10 standing scissors again for the last time. That does make it 50 for the day. There's your theme for in some ways, right? 10 standing scissors. Breathe and focus. So the rhythm is the same as earlier. Left leg is always moving. 5 sets of 10 stationary forward, stationary reverse lunges. 5 sets of 10, 5 of each, right? 5 revolutions. Round 1 was your 10 standing scissor. Round 2 will be your 10 standing runner. You'll have those high knees, butt kicks, and jumping jacks. And then we're going to have one more circuit, and that'll be the curl to press. You won't be laying down. You can stand or sit. And we're just going to change the rhythm a tiny bit. 10 total lunge, forward and backwards. Round 2 is your 10 standing runners. I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of you. I don't want to be way ahead of you. It's not very fun. I do get feedback still that people do need to push pause when they're doing this by themselves. And for most of those people, they haven't trained a lot with me in here. So a lot of it is, okay, what are we doing? What's going on? Round 2 was your 10 total lunges with your 10 standing runners. Round 3, right, a touch of pace. Round 3, 10 total lunges. You'll then have your 10 running revolutions, high knees, or walking reps on those high knees. Remember that left leg is always moving, but it's not always working. The leg that is in front of you is always the working, it's always the loaded leg. It's sometimes not moving. Round 3, 10 lunges, 10 high knees, running revolutions or walking reps. I never want you to be deterred by doing the walking version as long as those knees are getting up. There's a little more thought and exertion on the walking. Yeah, it's not as quick as the running, and that's why it's walking reps and running revolutions. Round 4, 4th set of those lunges. So again, some ways, I know it's 5 rounds of an unchanging number. There's stimulus by where your weight is, the combo that you're doing. Hopefully it wakes your body up a little bit. You don't have to think a lot, but you don't have to work. Round 4 is your 10 total lunges, and then your 10 butt kicks, running revolutions or walking reps, right? There's that thought, there's that exertion. Both situations are good. Oh yes, I love it. Round 4 was your butt kicks. Round 5 is those jumping jacks. Remember, we have one more circuit. Just a little bit of a number change, a little bit of a rhythm change, but it'll be one more 2 movement, upper body only exercise. And as you know, I don't do all the reps. That's your job. My job is to make sure we're kind of close to each other so you don't get too discouraged. Round 5 is your jumping jacks. Big jumping jacks or big walking jacks. Or I train a lot of mamas, and sometimes jumping jacks don't feel very good on the body. 10 Stationary forward, backwards lunges is 5 revolutions. You did it earlier on the right, and here you are on the left. You have the high knees, you have the standing scissors, the standing runners, the high knees, the butt kicks, and the jumping jacks. Big, deep breath. One more circuit to go. Little bit of a rhythm change. When you get there, you're going to technically do 3 sets each side oblique. So I changed the rhythm a tiny bit. It's going to be 25 right oblique. We'll then do the curl press. 25 left oblique, curl press. 25 right oblique, whether you change it or not. 3 sets of right obliques, 25. 3 sets of left obliques, 25. Nothing's going to technically imbalance you as long as you get both done. Your curl to press will have a changing number. 30 total movements is 15 of each. 24 total movements is 12 of each. Oh boy. 18 total movements is 9 of each. Right, we're going down, 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 down. 30 down by 6 on your total movements, or 15 down by 3. Last circuit. I want to wake up your brain. Those first 2 parts are pretty simple. All right. If you're standing, left hand is loaded for your right oblique. If you choose to lay down, you would have the right side up, double lateral leg lifts, the right side down hip dips, or lay on your back, knees to your left, right side crunch. Remember, I'm going to be a little bit ahead of you. And if you go out of order, I'm not too discouraged, right? It's not about me, it's your workout. Right oblique, and then you're going to do, for 25, then you're going to do 30 on your curl press, whether you're sitting tall or standing tall. Curl to press. So you technically did a lot more chest earlier in the first circuit. I know it had other things. And then those lats and your other things, right? When you push, you get a little chest, shoulders, triceps, and then here you are on your biceps and your shoulders formally. 30 total movements is 15 of each. The reps go down by 6, or the revolutions go down by 3. Again, for the most part, if you're watching this, you have done this with me before. If you're new to this, asterisk your reps. If you need to push pause, push pause. Remember, you can always get a hold of me and say, Chris, geez, okay, I'm doing these things in 70 minutes, not 45, 50 minutes. I don't want you discouraged, and I'll talk about the whys and the hows and the whos, right? Round 1 was the right oblique 25 with your 30 total reps on the curl to press, or 15 revolutions. I want to be ahead of you. I want you to work hard. I want there to be pace, right? Pace comes from lack of rest, high pace comes from lack of rest. But strength training always has a pretty moderate low tempo. Round 2 is your 25 left obliques. The ease of the circuit can be that you don't have to go on the ground, right? Standing obliques is loaded. At the gym, you have a 45-degree hyperextension. You've got your rotational obliques, which I did talk about and touch on the other day. If you do have something solid and a band, you'd have rotational obliques available. Hip dips are great. You don't have to go all the way to the ground. You can do hip dips on the edge of something. So again, you don't have to go all the way to the ground. But the hip dips, the down side of the body is pushing your body up. So when you do your left oblique is down. Round 2 is your left oblique, one of possible 3. And then you're going to have your 24 total movements, or 12 revolutions on your curl to press. So this circuit is more, right? It was the biggest circuit of the day, but I don't mind if you add a little fitness, a little pace, a little tempo. Breathe and focus and work. Curl to press. Sitting tall, standing tall, being tall. You're working. Round 1 was your 25 right oblique with your 30 curl press, a long round. Round 2 is your 25 left oblique with your 24 curl press. Again, kind of a long round, but you're going to start to feel the duration of the circuit decrease. Remember, standing obliques is great. Easy to do. Most people have that tool. But I do want to think about load, right? Load is required. You got hip dips, right? You can go on the ground. You can go in a chair. If you're elevated on the hip dip, you potentially could get more motion. I don't show those a lot or ask you to do them very much because of the position. Although really good things can happen, sometimes it's not very comfortable, and if you're already irritated, it doesn't feel the best. You got your hyperextension obliques, your rotational obliques, double lateral leg lifts, right hip dips, and side crunches. Round 3, 25 right obliques for the second time, and then 18 total movements, or 9 revolutions on your curl to press. If you're at the gym, you would have different angles you could sit on. It's either completely vertical, sitting or standing. You have adjustable benches that you can go back a notch. In fact, if you see this on a lot of videos, you will see people sitting on a bench angled back a tiny bit, a more elongation, extension of the bicep, and then you're able to maintain load on the press. So, as long as you're standing tall, sitting tall, and you have a curl press, I'm happy. Round 3, 25 right obliques, 18 curl presses. Round 4, and again, I'm trying to get a little ahead of you. I want to push you a tiny bit. Round 4 is your left oblique, 25. Hip dips are great. However, it's the position that's hard. Standing obliques are great, but they're also called standing loaded obliques. Load is either physical weight or time. Make sure one of those or both of those things are happening. Going on the ground is great for your double lateral leg lifts and hip dips and side crunches. It just requires you to go on the ground. Almost done, you guys. Round 4 is the 25 left oblique for the second time, and then your 12 total curl presses, or 6 of each. We are getting down there. Round 1 and 2 were longer than what we did earlier, and then rounds 3, 4, 5 are shorter than what we did earlier. The rhythm is different from what we did earlier. We have the upper body motion abs for 90 total reps. We have the hip motion abs for 90 total reps. And then here we are at 150 total obliques. It's all going to happen, right? Round 4 was your 25 left oblique with your 12 curl presses. You're on the home stretch. Round 5, you've got your right oblique for the last time. You'll have your 6 curl presses, or 3 of each. And then all you have to do is that other oblique, and you're all done. Left hand standing loaded. We call them TikToks. You do tilt to both sides. One is pulling, and then one you are pulling and contracting. A lot of people don't do the full motion, and of course the weight you're using will kind of determine that. Round 5, 25 right obliques for the last time, 6 total movements, or 3 curl press revolutions, and then you'll have that left oblique one more time. End of circuit, end of workout. A little bit of legs, a little bit of exertion and body work, nothing crazy. A lot of upper body, a lot of abs and obliques. Wednesday. And again, my fingers crossed that the videos are working. Zoom went down, Teams went down. I'm very curious what's going on out there. So if my Facebook went down, that means the internet went down, which would be Comcast locally. Round 5 was that right oblique 25. You have the 6 total movements on curl press, 3 revolutions, and then all you have to do is that left oblique 25. Again, fly press, pull over press, curl press, all happen. Up body abs, hip motion abs, obliques happen. A little bit of legs, a little bit of body, a little bit of work. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.